I can tell you one thing. He's bluffing. He is unable to protect his own territories. And he's still making threats to start the third world war or whatever, or start a war with NATO. Russia is good in one thing. They are good in conducting terrorist attacks, same as its allies, Iran and North Korea. But what they are not very good at is actually starting the wars and protecting their own territories. And they are building this illusion that Russia is invincible, but they are not. And we have shown it with the facts and proofs that Putin is bluffing. He has been bluffing to do something really bad to every single ask that Ukraine had.
Volodymyr Zelensky is in New York at the United Nations General Assembly this week, where he's expected to lay out his victory plan to Joe Biden. It comes as Ukraine continues to urge Western allies to lift restrictions on the use of long-range weapons. Kira Rudik is a Ukrainian MP for the Holos Party. Here's what she expects from Zelensky's victory plan.
We didn't see the plan and haven't heard about it. And so the president of the United States will be the first person from the wider circle to understand what's there. But we are absolutely sure that president will do his best in getting us what we need to win the war. And the first thing is, of course, lifting the restrictions on using Western weapons inside Russia to target the military targets, because we are right now in a situation where the majority of our energy infrastructure has been destroyed by Russia. We are constantly under Russian terrorist attacks, and we need to be able to defend ourselves, to protect ourselves. And president is there to call for our allies to execute on the promises that were made and to give us what is necessary to win.
Yeah.
I think that would cover the majority of the plan, and the details we will hear from him.
So the use of I mean, do you expect to get a decision from Joe Biden? We know that the UK is warmer to this. We know this from our Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, and our Defence Secretary as well. The UK is warmer to this plan, perhaps, than America is, but I think it might be something that the UK wouldn't do without the backing of America. We've each got our own long-range missiles. There's been much debate about whether we might get an announcement on this. Do you think we'll hear anything from Joe Biden? Of course, Zelensky will be meeting with Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump as well. Do you think we'll get anything by the end of this week?
We need to, because we have gone through the circle talking to all our allies, and it turns out that the decision needs to be made in the United States, and then the majority of allies will follow. So for us, it's not the first time when we're hearing no for our first ask. It was the same when we were asking for the wide-range weapons, for the fighter jets, for the Patriot missile systems, for the tanks. We understand that sometimes it takes time for our allies to analyze everything and to make the acknowledged decision. But again, every single day of the delay means that someone will die in Ukraine. And I think this is what President has in mind when he is there talking to the United Nations, talking to the candidates, and talking to the President Biden, saying, please allow us to defend ourselves so we can survive through the winter. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Zelensky has said, yes, this is one of the parts to his victory plan. He feels that you can't win the war with Russia without securing this backing. I suppose the problem is that if Western weapons are used inside Russian territory by Ukraine, then Vladimir Putin may see through on his threat to be at war with NATO, to start a war with a NATO country or countries.
Well, Kate, I can tell you one thing. He's bluffing. He is unable to protect his own territories. And he's still making threats to start the third world war or whatever, or start a war with NATO. Russia is good in one thing. They are good in conducting terrorist attacks, same as its allies, Iran and North Korea. But what they are not very good at is actually starting the wars and protecting their own territories. And they are building this illusion that Russia is invincible, but they are not. And we have shown it with the facts and proofs that Putin is bluffing. He has been bluffing to do something really bad to every single ask that Ukraine had. He said, oh, if you will give Ukraine fighter jets, then something bad will happen. We will execute on the nuclear threat. If you will give Ukraine tanks, this and that will happen. Well, guess what? Their strategy did not change a thing. They constantly terrorizing us, killing our people, committing all kinds of the war crimes from the war crimes list. And they're going with that no matter what West does. But what have worked in the past and what we have seen is when you arm us, then we are able to fight back and we are able to survive.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what needs to happen right now. And this is what President is pleading for. And this is we all what are pleading for.
That was Kira Rudik, who is a Ukrainian MP, speaking to me a little bit earlier. And of course, you'll get lots of coverage on Times Radio throughout the week from the United Nations General Assembly.